I have been absent for the past couple of weeks. I was shooting a movie. The movie has been shot. We are wrapped, and I am back, and I'm happy to be back. So, this is what I want to talk to y'all about today: pulling a portion of your dream life into your current life, experiencing a piece of your dream life, your desired life, your promised land life into your current life. And the way this idea kind of came to me is that this was a few weeks ago. I was talking to a coaching client, and she was telling me about this dream life that she had, this desire for this life that she wanted to live, the kind of house that she wanted to live in, and the kind of lifestyle that she wanted to be able to have, and the amount of money that she was going to be able to make, and the position that she was going to hold in a certain company. And she was striving, working to achieve this dream life. And if I were to give you a visual of it, it was like the dream life was ahead of her, and she was reaching out, trying to grab it, and she couldn't grab it. She felt like it was so far away from her. Meanwhile, behind her is the monster that she's trying to escape. The monster was lack. The monster was debt. The monster was, I'm afraid that I'm going to end up homeless on the street and not be able to provide for myself. That was the monster. And in her mind, that monster was closer to her than her dream life was to her. And she was constantly outrunning the monster, and feeling like she was so far away from the dream life that was in front of her. And I said to her, well, have you ever thought about pulling a piece of your dream life into your current life? And she thought, what are you talking about? I can't even reach my dream life. I'm nowhere close to it. I'm nowhere near it. And I said, well, maybe you're closer than you think. If you were to look into your dream life, look into your desired life, look into your promised land life, and I keep saying promised land for a reason, I'm going to get to that, but look into your promised land life and see what piece of it you can pull now. It could be, oh, I have a desire to travel the world. I want to see the world. I want to be able to go to exotic places that I can't afford right now, whatever those places might be. You might not be able to afford that dream trip right now, but you might be able to reach into that dream life of being able to travel and take a more local vacation, take a staycation, do something new in your city or your state, take a road trip someplace new and have a new exciting experience. You might not be able to go to the other side of the world right now, but you might be able to go to the other side of your city, the other side of your state, or even the other side of this country and have a new exciting experience. And that will help to prepare you and to remind you that yes, a life of travel and seeing the world is available to you. So that's just one example of of looking into your future desired dream life and pulling a piece of it out and bringing it into the right now. And what happens is that if you can reach into that future and pull a piece of your dream life into your current life, what you recognize is that your dream life may actually be closer than what you think. It's touchable, it is tangible, it is something that you can reach out and touch and grab a piece of it. But what it also makes you realize, or helps you realize, is that the monster that's behind you, in the case of this client, the debt, lack, homelessness monster that she felt was right on her back, might actually be a little bit further than you think. But because she was putting so much of her time and her energy and her focus on the monster that was behind her, the debt, lack, homelessness monster, she was putting so much of her energy and her time and her effort into outrunning that monster and giving that monster attention, she wasn't able to look into the future to see how close her dream life, her desired life, her promised land life was. And so that's what I want to share with y'all today. Are you so focused on the monster that you're trying to outrun that you don't even see how close your dream life is? And if you can see how close your dream life is, if you can take your eyes off of that scary monster, whatever it is for you, whatever that monster is for you, if you could take your eyes off of it for one moment, long enough to look into the future and see how close your dream life is, and even reach into that dream life and pull a little piece of that life, a little shred of that life into your current life, then you will recognize that, hey, this dream life might actually be possible for me. It might actually be closer than I think. It might actually be bigger than the monster that I'm giving more of my attention to. So now let me tell you why I keep saying promised land life. There is a story, and some of y'all may have already figured this out, but there's a story in the Bible that talks about the children of Israel, right? And how they were wandering, and there was a land, a promised land specifically for them. God had promised them this land. And they were close to the land, close enough to send spies into the land to scope it out, check it out, see what's going on over there in the promised land, right? And the Bible talks about how the promised land was flowing with milk and honey. And there were rivers there and streams and trees, and there was fruit there, and it was lush and it was abundant, right? And the scripture talks about how just a cluster of grapes. We all know how big a cluster of grapes is, right? A cluster of grapes can fit in the palm of our hand. But at one point, the spies that went into the land cut down a branch or a vine that was full of a cluster of grapes. And this cluster of grapes was so large, the fruit was so large, that it took two men carrying this branch or this vine back to the children of Israel, out of the promised land, back to the children of Israel. A cluster of grapes was so large that it took two men to carry it. And they were able to pull a piece of their promised land life, their dream life, their desired life, out of the future into their present as proof that this promised land life was indeed promised to them, that they could have it, that it was real, and that all they had to do was go in and possess it. Now, they didn't go in and possess it, and they took 40 years, and that's a whole nother video. We're not going to talk about that today. But what I'm talking about today is the fact that they sent spies into their promised land, and those spies brought back evidence of their promised life, their desired life, their dream life, brought it back from the promised land into the present time that they were currently living in, into the present space that they were currently living in as evidence. That's in the Bible, y'all. So if that can happen, if it is possible to reach into your promised land life, to look into it and see the abundance that's there, and reach in and pull some little piece of it out from the future, from where it is into your present, that is evidence enough that it is possible for you to have it, that it is indeed promised to you, that your dream, your desire is not off, and that all you got to do is reach out and grab it. Grab pieces of it. Grab pieces of it. Whatever pieces you can grab of your dream life, your desired life, your promised land life, grab those pieces, pull them into your present, and allow those pieces to be evidence that your promised life can be yours. And then all you got to do is figure out how to walk into it. And if you focus more on your promised land life and the pieces of it that you can have right now, that you can see right now, that you can hold in your hands right now, if you focus more on that and less on the monster that is chasing you, whatever that monster is for you, if you focus less on that and more on the promised life, you might actually realize that the promised life is closer than you think. It might be right in front of you. And all it takes is the right step, the right decision, the right yes, the right no to step into it. So that's what I wanted to share with y'all today. What pieces of your dream life, your desired life, your promised land life can you pull from the promised land into your current life as a reminder, as proof, as evidence, as tangible evidence that the thing you're dreaming for, the life you're desiring, the life you're praying for, the promised land that you want to walk into is actually there and can actually be yours? What pieces? You might not have the whole mansion now if that's what you want, but you might be able to pull a little piece of whatever that mansion has into your current life. You might not have the dream travel life now, but you might be able to pull little pieces of that dream travel life into your current life. You might not have the finances now, but you might be able to pull a little piece of those finances into your current life. You might not have the fullness now, but you might be able to reach into the fullness and pull a little piece of it out. So that's what I want to share with y'all today. Woo! Pulling pieces of your promised land life into your current life. As always, the euphoria of fearlessness trumps the comfort of staying safe. Journey bolder, journey louder, pull pieces of your promised land life into your current life. And I'll talk to y'all next time. Bye.